So this is draft week. This is my positional top five rankings for each of the positions I had enough time and film to scout players on this season. Not going to go in depth on each one. Try to keep this video at a reasonable length, but just want to get these names out there on the board just for posterity. Starting with quarterback, biggest position in football. I think this is a one quarterback draft, but here's my top five. At five, I have Ty Simpson from Alabama. I know he's almost everybody's quarterback two. Dan Orlovsky's quarterback one. I'm just putting him at five because he's a 1 year starter and he only really started and played well in about half of the games this year. I just want to see more. I'm not saying the talent isn't there. He's got the talent to be quarterback too. I'm just not putting him there on half a season worth of elite play. Number four, Joey Aguilar from Tennessee. Number three, Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. Number two, Cade Klubnik from Clemson. And number one, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. If I had to do it again, I think I'd probably have Garrett Nussmeier at six. He was probably at four. And Nussmeier, Aguilar, Simpson, Pavia, all those SEC quarterbacks kind of jockeying for those same positions there at the end of my quarterback ranking or quarterback top five. Um, Not a whole lot to say about Mendoza that hasn't already been said. He'll be the number one pick, going to my favorite team, so I'm rooting for him to be as good as possible and the best quarterback in this draft. At running back, number five, Mike Washington from Arkansas, the combine stud. Number four, Jonah Coleman from Washington. Number three, Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. Number two, Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. Number one, Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. No surprise there. Singleton, probably the surprise name at number two. He did not have a great year this year, but he's got 2,000-yard seasons. He's a workout warrior, an elite athlete. And I think that that's kind of the thing you want to bet on, just the great athlete, the receiving profile. So I still like Singleton. And there's not a lot of great running back options in this draft as well. So I'm keeping him at two. At wide receiver, number five, Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. At number four, Elijah Surratt from Indiana. At number three, Makai Lemon from USC. At number two, Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And number one, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Tyson's been in and out of the rankings altogether with the injury stuff. I think I just decided to put him at one because I think he's got the highest ceiling of these players between him and Tate. Tate I had as a player who was kind of good all around coming into the season, and he just keeps going up in terms of his play. So projecting continued growth, I think Tate could easily also be number one. And then Surratt and Bernard probably higher than a lot of other people have those two guys. I just think those guys are high floor players, smart players who an NFL team is going to look at them and see that they can clearly get on the field and contribute right away, where some of the other guys I think that are being talked about in that range of the top five receivers, I think there's a little more variance opportunity in terms of having a lower floor and possibility of not hitting in the way that I think when you watch Bernard and you watch Surratt, you see players who just know what they're doing, and I think that kind of thing will get those guys on the NFL field. At tight end, number five, Michael Trigg from Baylor. At number four, Oscar Delp from Georgia. At number three, Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. At number two, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. And at number one, Max Clare from Ohio State. Clare was my number one coming into the season, and he didn't have the production at Ohio State that he had at Purdue, but I think the playmaking ability is there, the blocking is improved, and I think just the offense that they had with those two receivers and wanting to run the ball just didn't create a lot of opportunity for him, but I don't think that makes him any worse of a player. Sadiq at three is probably the biggest shock in this group. Sadiq has kind of been wire-to-wire number one for a lot of people, elite athlete, great athlete. He definitely got better as a receiver as the season went on, but early in the season he was not contributing very much in the passing game. So again, I think that's just a matter of opportunity and time and development to see him continue to grow into that role where he becomes a primary pass catcher or a number two or even a number three at the NFL level. We just didn't see enough of that, in my opinion, in college. I think the talent is there for him to get there, and I would not be surprised if he was the best tight end in this class. I think each of those top three guys has the opportunity to be the best in this class. Oscar Delp just didn't get very much opportunity. Georgia's offense was run the ball on first down, run the ball on second down. If it's third and short, run the ball. If it's third and long, throw a screen pass and then punt or turn around and run the ball again. So he just didn't get very much opportunity in the passing game at Georgia to show what he could do as a receiver. And then Michael Trigg has the best highlights in the class. There are some people who say he may not get drafted with some off the field stuff or whatever, but just watching what he does on tape, it's hard to deny what he does. 6'4", 240, 10 and a half inch hands, and it's just incredible highlights. So if you get consistent product, if you get him to play consistently and clean up any of these off the field things that people are concerned about, I think he has a chance to be really special as well. So those are your kind of fantasy football relevant positions. Let me just run through some of these other positions as well. At offensive tackle, I have a tie at number 5, Blake Miller from Clemson and Maxi Onachor from Arizona State. At number 4, Monroe Freeling from Georgia. At number 3, Caleb Lomu from Utah. At number 2, Spencer Fano from Utah. And number 1, Francis Mauigoa from Miami. Those are kind of pretty consensus top 5 or 6 guys. Caden Proctor I would have at number 7, but again, he could slot right in there with that group as well. I think he's just got a little bit more issues in his pass protection, just letting guys get into his body and things that he can work on. But he can definitely work on those things and get better, and he's massive. So no surprise if he turns out to be the best of the bunch. At edge, number 5, Zion Young from Missouri. At number 4, Keldrick Falk from Auburn. At number 3, Arvell Reese from Ohio State. At number 2, Ruben Bain from Miami. At number 1, David Bailey from Texas Tech. Reese being projected right there with Bailey 1 and 2 and 3 in the class. I want to see him actually play more on the edge. He's a linebacker. He was playing a lot more linebacker down the stretch. He just hasn't played full time on the edge. So not to say he can't develop, not to say we didn't see when he played over there that he played well. It's just he hasn't had that as his primary role at all in college. So there's a little bit of projection there. And so I put him at 3, I think, because we've seen Bain and Bailey do it every down in college and be successful. I think that's why I'm just projecting them a little higher. And then Young and Falk are more on the true defensive end, run stopper, and support in the pass rush game versus being get after the quarterback first kind of guys like these other 3. At the interior defensive line, number 5, Peter Woods from Clemson. Number 4, Caleb Banks from Florida. Number 3, Christian Miller from Georgia. Number 2, Grayson Halton from Oklahoma. Number 1, Caden McDonald from Ohio State. A couple of nose tackles, 3 technique, 3-4 defensive end. A lot of different versatility in the defensive tackle, interior defensive line positions in football. So, these guys all are classified kind of the same way position-wise, but they all do very different things. Banks more of a pass rusher, Halton more of a pass rusher, shooting gaps, whereas McDonald is the run stuffer, Christian Miller more of your traditional defensive tackle. Peter Woods really kind of moves up and down the line at Clemson. I think he's the most versatile of the 5 that I have here, but also he doesn't have a defined spot, and sometimes that makes it harder, and you get called a tweener, and your team, if you get on the wrong team, you don't have a defined role, and you're rotating more than being a defined contributor. And then the last position that I have is safety. Number 5, Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. Number 4, Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina. Number 3, Bud Clark from TCU. Number 2, Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. And number 1, Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Main things there, I think Clark and Kilgore are probably a little lower on the consensus rankings. I really like those guys. Some people see them more as, cornerback, nickelback, rather than being true safeties. I think that's fine. I think at this point there's a lot of rotating players around in the secondary, and being versatile and being able to play in different spots can actually get you on the field more. So I just like those players. I like they got length, they got good ability to cover, and also get into the box and hit. So those are my positional top 5s. We'll see what happens on draft day and then going into the season, see how these players perform.